What if Naruto was the reincarnation of Toji Fushiguro? What would happen? And how would this affect the verse of Naruto, Uzumaki? Well, we'll be going over that in this video. Now, if you guys like this video, definitely hit the subscribe button. You only need the Google account, and hit the bell button if you want more of this content. And I'll be putting a like goal of 10 likes. But pretty much, guys, without further ado, roll that intro. So we pretty much start this what if when Naruto was about 4 years old. He was pretty much running through the forest as he was holding a spear. Now this spear he would have just found it randomly when he was walking through a Konoha with no explanation on how he found it. So yeah, let's just think of this as an inverted spear of heaven. Now he would have been running through the forest from a bunch of, Genin to Chunin level ninja. Pretty much they did not like Naruto, and they kind of misplaced their anger on Naruto because of the Nine Tails attack. So he was walking, running through the forest, like the forest of death. As pretty much what happened is they would start to gain up on Naruto since he was only about, like I said, 4 years old. So once they would gain up on him, they would pretty much throw a kunai, and the kunai would kind of hit his t-shirt, and then it would just impale itself into the tree, kind of holding Naruto in place. As Naruto would try to take out the kunai, but it wouldn't be enough time, as he would then be the same thing would happen to his other arm, or his left arm, as he would pretty much, been there, just kind of been hanged by the tree. So what happened is Naruto, feeling like he was about to die, like he was about to anyway, he's gonna get killed anyway. So he would then he would just randomly gain this energy, this strength, randomly spawn it at that point, as he would then rip his hand from the tree itself before he would then pick up his spear, and for some reason the spear would start to glow. As what would happen is one of the ninjas would go through a few hand signs, performing a pretty big fireball jutsu, as Naruto would then swing at the technique, as the technique would then just disappear. Now Naruto would then appear behind said ninja, but then just slicing him down. As then he would then, slice down another ninja, pretty much killing everyone. Now once Hiruzen would get onto the scene, sensing Naruto's spike in chakra, he would then, see Naruto, stained in blood with his spear in hand. As what would happen next is Hiruzen, he would see the intent of the ninja, as he kind of felt that intent that they were going to strike Naruto first, if you kind of get my vibe there. But what would happen next is Hiruzen would kind of sense Naruto's latent potential, as what would happen next is he would really start to be serious with Naruto. He had pretty much dumped Naruto out of an apartment, which he later really regretted, as he promised Kushina to take care of Naruto. But soon he gets his own redemption, as Naruto is there, and he starts to train Naruto. He trains Naruto personally for the next 12 years, with Naruto going on multiple missions, like C to B rank missions, going on missions helping the Mist Village with the rebellion, going on to the going to save the Land of the Waves the first time before the original events of how the Land of the Waves was colonized actually happened. And then it's like he's gonna save it twice, but I just didn't really go into detail of it the first time. Then he would have pretty much got a relationship with most of the Anbu, as he even went on some assassination missions with them, as Hiruzen seemed like he was quite a good stealth op, Anbu, and he didn't really have any chakra, right? He couldn't really control chakra at that time, so he didn't really have much to suppress. and he would have been easily, he was really good with weapons. So you hand him a weapon, he would obviously know how to use it. And Naruto would be seen as, I guess, the weapon master, like Tencent, but like the male version in a sense. So pretty much Naruto in this time started learning chakra techniques, Shia Clone Jutsu, and gaining all the elements. Not all the elements. He's gonna get all the elements, but right now he only has wind and water. Since wind, that's just his own element, and water from his mom. Soon he'll probably get lightning, and he'll probably be able to infuse lightning abilities into his spear. Since I like to give Naruto some of the Naruto verse abilities plus the abilities he has with being like Toji's reincarnate. So after the whole time skip, Naruto would have been about 16, just like the rest of the Konoha 12, as he would be seen, going to the team selection day. Now, pretty much once he would get there, he would walk in, and pretty much everyone would see Naruto, and he'd be completely unrecognizable. He would have the same outfit as Toji himself, and he would have the headband, wrapped around like on his neck area, kind of hanging on his chest, I guess you can say. Before he would then walk in, as he would sit down next to Sasuke, kind of saving him from Sakura and Ino. As Sasuke would then thank him, Naruto would look over and he would say, "For what? I didn't really do anything." As Sasuke would say, "Well, Ino and Sakura have been really annoying him for the time he was in the academy. They just have this weird annoying feeling to him in a sense." And Naruto would be like, "Whatever rocks your boat, no problem, I guess." As he would offer his hand for a shake, like a handshake, as he would say, "Naruto Uzumaki, at your pleasure." As Sasuke would smile before shaking his hand, saying, "Sasuke Uchiha." As Naruto would say, "Oh, Uchiha, hopefully I can even see the latent potential you have. Hopefully you'll be strong enough so you can equal my power." As Sasuke would see this as a challenge in a sense, as he would say, yeah, of course." He would say in a quite bold tone, before they would then go back to they were kind of like turning to each other, so they would go back to their original position, as Iruka would walk in and tell everyone to settle down, with his head growing abnormally bigger, almost that of a giant. But pretty much Iruka would start to announce everyone's the team selection. Team 7 being Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Sakura Haruno. Team 8 would then consist of Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburame, and none other than Kiba Inazuka. Team 10, Shikamaru Ino Shikocho. That's the team selection, which would be Shikamaru, Ino, and Choji, as Asuma and Kurenai would pick him up about 5 minutes after Iruka would announce everyone that the senseis would come and pick them up soon. But for Team 7, they seem to have that one sensei where he's always late. Or, yeah, he or she, they don't know who this sensei is. So, pretty much what would happen is about maybe an hour and a half later, Naruto would just take a nap as soon as he feels like their sensei isn't coming. So, he would feel a presence enter the academy about 1 hour and a half later, as pretty much what would happen is you would sense Kakashi's chakra, as this would have been quite a familiar chakra since he joined Kakashi's Team Ro, and he pretty much trained with everyone else like Yamato and Kakashi. So he has that same tattoo that pretty much Kakashi has, Yamato and Itachi have. As Prince Naruto would be sitting down, and Prince Sasuke would look over to him, he would see that tattoo on his arm, as he would recognize this same tattoo on Itachi. He doesn't know why it's there, but he would ask Naruto, "So why do you have the tattoo on your left arm?" Kind of like near, he doesn't even need to describe what it was. As Naruto would look over, he'd say, "Oh, that's the tattoo you get when you kind of do missions for the Anbu." As Naruto would say this quite normally, like it wasn't anything to worry nothing to get worried about. As Sasuke would quickly start asking questions. "So, Itachi Uchiha, right?" As Naruto would say, yeah, I know him. He has so many weaknesses, it's very easy to beat him. But other than that, he's pretty strong. And he would ask, "Sasuke, why do you ask?" As Sasuke would be quite surprised. Naruto was basically saying that he was stronger than Itachi, and he was just saying this normally. As Sasuke would then kind of beg Naruto to train him. As Naruto would be like, "Why do you want me to train you anyway?" as pretty much Sasuke will say that I want to kill Itachi. He killed the clan, so I kind of want you to train me. As pretty much Naruto, obviously knowing the truth about what really happened, since he is an Anbu, he I guess a close Anbu to Itachi, so he either would have learned it from aka Hiruzen or Itachi himself. And pretty much what would occur next is Naruto would say, well, I mean, I guess, I don't mind. I don't really have much time on my hands. So, I have a lot of time on my hands. So, I don't mind. So, just meet me after we do some introduction with our sensei, okay? You'll be surprised about how strong he is. As Kakashi would then say, yes, he will. As they would look to the right, and Kakashi would be standing there. And Sasuke and Sakura would be like, I didn't even feel him. As, Kakashi would be there saying, yo, I'm Kakashi Hatsuki, and, I'll be your sensei. As Sakura would start to yell at him, saying, why are you so late? It's been an hour and a half. Well, Team 8 and Team 10 sensei came in about 5 minutes. As Kakashi would say, well, the thing is, I was coming over there. I would have been here the same time as them, but then I saw a black cat. So I turned around, I went all the way around the village, but then I saw that same black cat crossing the path. And if you see a black cat crossing the path and you still walk, you get bad luck for the rest of the day. So Kakashi Hatsuki, he ain't gonna go that route. So he turned around and went back the other way, and he saw the same cat. So he did it about 6 times before Kakashi just got annoyed and body flicked over there. As Sakura would get that of a blank face, as Kakashi wouldn't even let her say anything. As he would say, meet me upstairs. As he would disappear into a pile of leaves, being that of Shunshin, yeah. And pretty much Naruto would use the same technique, and he would appear at the roof with Sasuke and Sakura using the stairs like usual. Now pretty much Naruto would then say, hey, dog, I guess, Ino, that's his name. He wouldn't say dog, but he would have said like Ino. As Kakashi would say, yo, we don't have to use that from now on, we aren't the Yampa, As pretty much Naruto would say, yeah, it's Kakashi, right? Kakashi sensei, I guess, since I gotta pretend to be like I'm a student and all. As Kakashi would say, yeah, you kinda do. We kinda need Sasuke to be kinda strong, and with your immense strength, you are quite strong. You are really stronger than him, so you will be tasked with pretty much, I guess, bonding with Sasuke. If you want it to be real, it's fine, but if it's not, I guess that's your choice. Just to be like your first assignment, helping other people get strong. So we decided to give you Sasuke as your, I guess, first victim, not even victim, but first student. As Naruto would be like, understandable. I was trained by the 4th Hokage for 12 years. I definitely have a lot to teach, but I do have a lot to learn. As, Kakashi would be like, definitely. You still haven't really learned the Rasengan, or I guess any of the elemental jutsus, or not a lot of them yet. So Naruto would say, yeah, I was mostly focusing on my Kenjutsu. As, they would kind of just have a few minutes of silence before Sasuke and Sakura would come up there, and we would all sit down on the stairs. Kakashi would then say to them, well, pretty much all you gotta do is explain to me what you like, what you dislike, your goals, attributions, and your name, of course. As Sakura would go first, saying Sakura Haruno, she would say her usual goal. I would never want to actually repeat what she said, but we all know what she says. Now, pretty much what we're going over next is Naruto's goal. Naruto would say, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. My likes, my sword, Spear of Heaven. This is called the Inverted Spear of Heaven. I see it as a weapon from that of the gods. And pretty much he would then pull out, I guess, a book. So it would have been his favorite book. It would have been like Jiraiya's book. It would have been just a specific book from Jiraiya. It would have been the tales of Naruto Uzumaki. As he would say, I was named after this book, I feel very honored. As he would then put the book away. And then he would say, my dislikes, I don't really like, I don't really dislike much. I dislike the 3 minutes you wait for ramen, because I really like ramen. I should have mentioned that. And then another dislike I have is just not being able to fight. I love fighting. If you ask me to fight, I would fight you on the spot. I don't care if you're a fucking baby. If you ask me to fight, I'll fight you. as he starts to go on a rant about how he loves fighting before he then go back to the actual topic, saying, oh, and my goal is to just become the strongest ninja in the whole world, like out of all of the great nations. As Kakashi would kind of respect this goal, and so would Sasuke and Sakura. And Sakura and Sasuke not really understanding Naruto's goal. I mean, they wouldn't really actually think of this goal. Sasuke just wants to kill Itachi, while Sakura just wants to be a simp, I guess. And the next, Sasuke would say what he usually says, saying that he wants to kill Itachi, he wants to kill someone, other, I guess, things like that, restore the clan, and pretty much he would say, the same thing with likes and dislikes. It's pretty much the exact same thing. As after, Kakashi would do his introduction, he would tell them to meet him at Training Ground 7. Now, once he would disappear into, Shadow Clone, Sasuke would whisper, it was a goddamn Shadow Clone and it was this late? So pathetic. As he would look towards Naruto and he would say, so are we gonna go train? As Naruto would be like, yeah, meet me at, I guess your Uchiha Training Ground. As pretty much Sasuke would nod, as Naruto would then disappear into nothing. He would have used a body flicker technique. As once Naruto would have gotten to the Uchiha Training Ground, he would have then be presented with none other than Sasuke, walking on, getting ready to train. As Naruto would say, oh, so you know some fireball jutsu, right? As Sasuke would say, yeah, my clans specialized in that, or they were. As Naruto would say, yeah, I'll be teaching you some fire style jutsus, alright? As he would remember all the fire style jutsus that he wasn't used, so pretty much it'll be quite easy for him to teach that to Sasuke. As pretty much he would start to explain to them what elemental manipulation is. He would start to explain to Sasuke that you can form a shape of anything you want if you were just imagine it, and you can do that with your elements. Speaking of, you can form a dragon out of fire itself, or even lightning with a dragon. It just all depends on what you imagine and how you form it. As Naruto would explain to Sasuke, I'll be teaching you how to form a dragon with your fire and other shapes, like a snake, anything like that, just anything that's versatile against your opponents. As he would then say, so I want you to point towards, point towards a appropriate area to shoot your fire, as I want you to picture in your mind a dragon. Now I want you to start to fully picture it, features, anything like that. Just then after that, just picture that as fire. Sasuke would start to picture it, not getting the full picture. It would take him a few minutes and all. I remember all the times he actually saw one from like arts and all. And then he would finally materialize it in his head. Before then, he would take a deep breath, letting all the chakra flow into his lungs, change that into a fire. Before then, fire would reach his esophagus, before a huge dragon would form from his mouth and shoot out. As it would start dancing around in a circle, before then it would go right down, just down towards the land, before it would cause a huge explosion in the distance. As Naruto would say, good, you've done that on the first try. You really are a prodigy when it comes to lightning affinity. Now, Naruto would then reach behind him and randomly get a sword, or a katana, as he would hand this to Sasuke. And this katana wouldn't be really any, or I guess random katana. This would be the katana that Sasuke wields in his Boruto. And the reason why he wields it is because Naruto gave it to him. It wouldn't just because he randomly got it. So this time, it would have been because Naruto gifted it to him. As he would say, this sword seems to reach out to you in a sense. It has the same energy. It kind of gives out in a sense. And it seems like this sword will bond with you. Not like I'm not actually talking like a Zanpakuto tale, but I'm just talking symbolically, of course. As Sasuke would pick up the sword, as he would look at it, and he would see the white handle with the gold tints of it, and he would look at how beautiful it is. As he would see the sharp part of the blade, and he would like this sword. As Naruto would say, of course you're supposed to like it. As Naruto would say, I'm guessing you said you were complimenting how it was, how good it looked, how beautiful it was, and like how do I like it so far. It's because it's your sword. It's your sword. You're supposed to like it. You picture this feature when you were just randomly picturing a sword in your mind. So I just pretty much materialized that in a sense. As he would then tell Sasuke, Now, once I want us to basically train about this for an hour. As he would, start swinging at Sasuke. Sasuke would be like, "What are you doing?" As Naruto would say, "I'm forcefully evolving you. I'm causing you to evolve by giving you the sense of death, the fear of it, the same feeling that Itachi gave you that caused you to awaken your Sharingan." As pretty much what happened is Naruto would start swinging at him, causing on many occasions he would almost kill Sasuke with Sasuke barely dodging, and this would cause him to pretty much awaken the Sharingan when he feels the wave of death coming over him. As he would start dodging even better, and as he would raise his sword, it starts clashing back, getting the courage to fight back. As he would start clashing, naturally gaining the ability and the battle intelligence to basically fight against Naruto, getting stronger and stronger from that point. Now, at the end of their training, it would be about nighttime, I guess it would have been the early evening, as Naruto would say, "Alright, that's enough." As he would then put his spear back into his sheath, and he would tell Sasuke, "Well, let's go get some ramen, and I'll drop you back here, and you can rest for the rest of the night." Now, Naruto and Sasuke, they would go towards Ichiraku, one of Naruto's favorite restaurants. As they would have walked in, and Teuchi would recognize Naruto, saying, "Oh, Naruto, Uchiha, him like Sasuke." So I get Teuchi would know Sasuke, but it's not like he was a regular. It was just he just knows of him. As Sasuke would order, I guess, ramen. I guess I don't really know exactly what bowl to go. I guess you would call it a fish bowl. As they would eat ramen before Naruto would drop off Sasuke, concluding the day. Now, pretty much after Naruto would head home, we'll time skip to the next day. Naruto would have gotten up, and he would have put on his usual black shirt and I guess silver pants, before then putting on his shoes, and then putting his sword in his sheath. As he would have looked in the mirror slowly and slowly. To the readers, I'm saying, not the readers, the viewers, Naruto was looking exactly like Toji. It would have pretty much taken his form as well, since he was, I guess, 16. That's the time when muscle growth actually happens. Maybe 15 to 17. That's really when you have the most potential to gain muscle. So Naruto would have pretty much, I guess, been a lookalike of Toji with his usual black hair and blue eyes. Forgive me if I didn't mention that, but I didn't really want to go over the birth of Naruto Uzumaki. I just, because I see a lot of people saying that I shouldn't really go over. Not I go over, but in the video, Zeta went over it in our feature, and I saw someone saying you shouldn't. So I'm gonna try it out. So pretty much Naruto would head over to the training ground when they would all be there. So pretty much what would happen is Kakashi would start to explain to them, after being late yet again, of course. He would start to explain to them what'll be happening. Now, this time, when Kakashi says start, Sasuke would see Naruto disappear and kind of follow him. And that whole day, Sasuke had been exponentially stronger into his canon form, at least his yesterday form. And pretty much, Sasuke would have been more willing to work with Naruto, even though there was only 2 bells. He still wanted to, he pretty much just, even though he knew there was only 2 bells, he was still willing to work with Naruto and Sakura, and he would have kind of recognized this feeling and knew that maybe it was changing as for the better, of course. As Naruto would notice this, as he would stop, and pretty much him and Sasuke, they would come up with a plan. They would then go meet up with Sakura. As pretty much what would happen is Naruto would see that she was put into a genjutsu. As Naruto would wake up, then tell Sasuke to break her out of it, and pretty much because if he were to break out of it, Sakura would have a weird response. But if it was Sasuke, then it would have been more familiar in a sense. So Sasuke would use the Sharingan and shatter the genjutsu before Sasuke would then tell them, "Let's work together, and hopefully maybe Kakashi would let us pass since we're working together." That's the point of a team, teamwork. So this would have clicked in Sakura's head. No, that sounded sus. Now, pretty much, they would come up with a plan. I'm going to do the same plan I do with every What If when it comes to Team 7. Sakura comes in using Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu, Kunai Shadow Clone Jutsu, and she would try to use a simple Genjutsu on Kakashi. It would have been the same, I guess, Leaves Genjutsu, that one that Kakashi tried to use on her, which she recognized, but she didn't really have a defense against. So she thought it was just a pretty powerful genjutsu which she can never break out of, but now she knows she can. So she would try to use this on her as the kunais would start to hit Kakashi's elbows, scratching his cheek, like his face cheek, and causing gashes in his elbows from like kunai stabbing into him, and Shuriken doing the same as well. As Sasuke would, Kakashi would use his Sharingan to break out of the Genjutsu. As Sasuke would then come behind Kakashi, as Kakashi would turn around, like he would feel his presence form behind him, as he would see a huge fireball form or like coming towards him. As Sasuke would have then used kind of did like fire dragon jutsu, as a huge dragon would again come behind the fireball. As Kakashi would start sweating, bro. He's like, jeez, bro. As he would then lift up his Sharingan for a second before he would copy the jutsu and then use it against him. Now, the dragons would clash, and pretty much they would equalize as there'd be a huge explosion of fire. I know that equal forces don't do anything, but like, I like explosions. As there'd be a huge explosion of fire, as once the steam, like the smoke would clear and the fire would clear, Kakashi and Sasuke would both be seen with I guess slight degree, like first degree burns, as they would have pretty much, I guess, given enough time for Naruto to get the bells. As Kakashi would be like, oh, nice attack, but where's Naruto? As Naruto would say, I'm right here. He'd be, I guess, next to Sakura, as he would have been holding the two bells. As Kakashi would have like, damn it. He would remember that Naruto was a stealth operative, and he knows that Naruto can easily take it if he wanted to. As pretty much Kakashi would ask him a trick question. He would say, so what are you gonna do with those bells? As Naruto would say, well, I'm gonna give them to my teammates because we passed, right? As he would have thrown a bell to Sakura and thrown a bell to Sasuke. As Kakashi would say, as he would start to kind of do the same tone he did when he caught Sakura and Sasuke feeding Naruto, as he would have been like, you pass. As pretty much Naruto would have pretended to be like all surprised, and Sakura and Sasuke would actually be surprised, and then they realized they passed. So after the bell test, that'll be where I'm ending this. Yeah. I actually recorded this first time, but basically let's just say I had to re-record it again, so let's just say the plot was completely different. Alright, if you guys actually want to know, just comment it down below if you actually want to know. But without further ado, guys, like I said in the intro, 10 likes for part 2. But without further ado, guys, have a good one.